I was recently told that there is no need for a voice in this generation because these modern day struggles that we're faced with are not the same like they were back in the days of our parents and grandparents. But my feelings are contrary to this statement because the power struggles of today's times are even worse. We live in a generation where our own thoughts and free thinking governs our everyday lives and it sets the tone for society. We live in a generation where despair and disaster brings about unity. This is a generation of reacting instead of being proactive. We live in a generation where the men need to take back their respects in their homes and in their communities, and we need to set the roadmap for the next up-and-coming generation. We live in a generation where family is redefined, marriage is not valued, self-worth is no longer a necessity, the true and living God is no longer honored, and the evil of this world is being glorified. We are being subconsciously programmed with the vile images of our paid network programs, and these images are becoming part of our social norm. We live in a generation where Hollywood entertainment controls these images and the mindset of this nation. We live in a generation that allows this entertainment business to set the tone for our culture. We live in a generation where relative thinking outweighs the absolute truth. We have become desensitized to illicit acts and behaviors. Is there not a need for a voice? Rules and regulation that governs our reformation, and we live in a system that can be manipulated when it's not in favor of the privilege. And these unjust laws of this system causes social conflict, racial divide, and disunity among the masses. A corrupt, fundamentally broken system that wants its people to embrace these unjust laws. Who will be that next voice that would not be weak and faint of heart and will be able to look evil dead in its eyes and hit it head on without fear and trembling? Who will be the next voice to speak life into the youth and guide their lives in the right directions so that they will grow up to become responsible adults? A voice that will empower this generation of youth, educate the lost, use godly methods to influence those in political positions, and give us resources to increase our life skills so that we will unify and culturally bond. A voice that will speak real truth into the young men and women to let them know that they are the guiding lights of this earth and the evil of this world does not like or want that light to shine, but with confidence, boldness, unity, and perseverance, the evil can't stop their light from shining.
Speak on it, brother. Go ahead on and speak on it, bro.
I've read a recent statistic that said this generation would do worse than the generation ahead of them, which means we are raising up a generation of failures. Once again, my feelings are contrary to this statement. As long as there are people like me in place who will speak out against these negative and inflammatory comments and will build a foundation that will bring about social change, believe me when I say this generation will prevail. Who will be the next voice to bridge this generational gap? This next voice will cause a nationwide movement to bring about great changes upon these lands. This next voice will teach us about accountability. This next voice will speak against the poverty mindsets and speak the good news of an economical plan that will build generational wealth and teach us about total prosperity in the process. This next voice will not demean its women. This next voice will speak the real truth, the horrible, dark, ugly truth that will promote positive change, and this truth will cause for its people to introspect and act. And this self-reflection will cause transformation of the heart and not behavior modification. Who will be this next voice? This next voice will speak out about these modern day issues that we are facing. This next voice will be a truth seeker, and most don't like a real truth seeker because this voice will speak against the truth that we comply to, which we should not be agreeing with in the first place. And this truth seeker would not be afraid to talk about these unpopular topics of our times that are crippling us. Most importantly, this voice will speak the truth in love. There are 4 elements that need to be in place in order for us to become successful individuals, and they are hard work, self-improvement, education, and morality. If any of these 4 elements are missing, we will fail as an individual, a people, and a nation. Is there not a need for a voice?